Hi guys, it's your girl Yummy.com. Thank you for joining me, my internet friends. Thank you for liking, subscribing, just being here vibing. I'm all much appreciated. I just got back from Korea as I'm recording this, not necessarily as I'm posting this. However, I'll try and edit it as quickly as possible, but there are a lot of videos and a lot of things to get through. I want to give you my review of my trip, what I did, what might be interesting to you, what tips I may have, and what I just absolutely missed out on and can't wait to go back to go do. For that, I will need my handy dandy notebook. Got it. So I went in April, mid-April, so it was kind of a nice time. It was a little bit rainy for like a day or two, but it was actually pretty freaking good compared to like once we left, I think immediately it started raining. Was very lucky, and I also accidentally scheduled it in a time for one of these activities that is no longer up, obviously, but and I ended up missing another activity that is going to be up or is up right now as I'm recording this. So first off, we're going to talk schedule. I'm going to walk you through all of the days and what I did for each day. And then I'll tell you kind of like my dislikes or tips or things I wish I did better, what I absolutely loved, some of my favorite parts, and what I can't wait to go back and do.
Those happy days just drift away.
So for day one, I landed in around 5:30 at Incheon Airport. I ended up taking a cab just straight off to my hotel. I got on at Newark, which was actually a really good plan for me because Newark is a much less busy airport. It's a little bit harder to get to, but if you're willing to take an Uber to Newark, it's worth it. Like, I had a lot of film. I took a lot of film cameras with me, so I had to get my bags hand checked when I was going through carry-on so that it wouldn't get disturbed by the x-ray machine. And even when I took extra time, I was still eons earlier for my flight. Had a chance to stop, get a drink, take Polaroids, you know, do cute things. I was in my little Teddy suit, which I really love the outfit. It's a really good outfit. I really do love it. But my flight was a little bit late getting into Incheon because I believe there was a hurricane over Russia or something. There was something that winds were a volcano eruption that may have, like, the winds may have whatever, but I still had time enough to come in, sit down, shower, get settled, and I met up with my friend Olivia. We had our first meal in Korea. We had dinner. We had pajeon and soju and just, like, you know, the banchans and some stew, the danjang jjigae. It was nice. We walked around Namyeon Market, which is near my hotel. I stayed in Yeongdong, so that's a very foreigner heavy part. It was great. I had a potato on a stick. I had a great time at the market, at the night market. It was great. Day two is, I would say, I named each day. So day one was the beginning. Day two is 17 my head. And that's because I ended up going to the 17th Street. But before I did that, I took the subway with my friends Olivia and Jess. We went to this cafe called Check and Grow. It ended up also being a restaurant, but it had different levels. So there was a library in one level, there was a cafe in another level, a rooftop garden, a restaurant, Italian kind of restaurant. So we ended up eating Italian food, kind of Italian. It was like burrata toast, I think you would say, as our second meal. Not super Korean, but like still delicious. It was also one of our more expensive meals, but I think that's also because Korean food is less expensive in Korea, obviously, than American food or like Italian food. We went to the 17th Street, which was absolutely amazing. I wrote S-Coops a note. I hope he got it because I saw that they were reading them. I hope he got it.
나만 혼자 바보 됐어 갈 길을 잃은 채갈 곳을 잃은 채 나만 바보 됐어.
Regardless, but it was really fun. You're giving out free balloons. It was a free event. It was really cute. Like, there was lots of fun things to do. We took a lot of cute pictures, some cute Polaroids, just explore the space. There was also a fashion show that was doing a run through next door, so we got to like critique the models and pretend we were like high-end fashion people who were like, you know, enjoying the first looks of a runway. That was really great. Then we went back to our hotels to like shower, and you know, our last friend who was getting there that night, she had just gotten there. She was gonna go shower, get ready, and we all after that got ready, went to Itaewon, went to Naked Chicken, had some chimek. I had chimek, where I think I had a highball actually. Regardless, I had some chicken, I had some alcohol. It was great. And then we went to a club in Itaewon. It was like cool, but regardless, we found a club to go to, and it was pretty okay. The music was hit or miss. They had a rotation of DJs going through. Some were better than others. We did end up leaving, and we went home, and it was great. But before we got home, before we started hiking home, we saw this bar that looked really lit, and the music was great, and I had a whole dance party outside of it, and we vowed to go back at some point during the trip, to go back and check out that bar. Then we all went home. That was the end of day 2.
I don't forever.
Day 3, it's called the Song and Dance. We had breakfast one of the things I really wanted to do was have nammyeon, because I love cold noodles, nammyeon, but it's hit or miss in the States. I think that I had it at like this cute mom and pop shop for breakfast. Everyone else had kimbap, I had nammyeon, someone had tteokbokki. It was delicious. It was absolutely everything I dreamed about and everything I had waited for. I was so happy and excited. We went to a cafe after, because that's another thing, like you can't like buy coffee at like a kimbap breakfast place. It's not like a all-in-one situation. You kind of go to a breakfast place and then go to a cafe, and it was super fun. It was great. Then we went to church, and then we after that we headed to the Han River. When we had gone to the Han River, there was some kind of dance crew that was performing and recording, so they were taking up a decent amount of space and doing stuff. We saw them do a couple dancey dances and have a little fun. Me and Jess walked a little bit. It was kind of windy. I had a nice drink by the Han River, which was one of my goals. I wanted to have pizza and a drink, but a drink I will settle for. And from there we left and we went to Hongdae and we karaoke'd our life away.
Break me, this is gonna break me. Oh, don't you wake me. I wanna stay in this dream. Don't save me, don't you try to save me. I need a way with your dream.
It's definitely a no for me, dog. The voice is just not there.
I nearly fainted.
I got a 99 on Darling by 17, which was a pretty proud moment. I won't tell you what we got on Digitalk because it was very bad, but we had a lot of fun karaokeing. There was such a variety of songs. It was like, at one point we were singing Phantom of the Opera. Another point we went on to Eric Nam, because that's how we kind of all met. We were just singing anything and everything, and it was just so much fun. I thoroughly lost my voice and was speaking hoarse for the next 2 days because we were shouting so much. But while we were also in Hongdae, we saw people busking, which was amazing. He was very cute, but he was also very talented singing. He was singing like Ed Sheeran and things that tickle my heart keys, so that was amazing. We were walking around looking for pizza for a really long time and we couldn't find it, so then we ended up at this mom and pop shop where we just had danjejjigae again. I love soybean paste too, okay? I'm a sucker for it. I love it so much. So we had that. I had soju again. I had a drink with like almost every meal for this like duration of the trip because everything was so cheap. So I was like, why can't I drink? Anyways, after that, we all left Hongdae. We went home. I went back to Myeongdong. I went back to my hotel. This day, I would like to call day 4, and it is called the BTS Throwback Day. We woke up and we met up to have a BTS day. We went to their trainee old building, like their old company building in Gangnam. Everyone's been there. Like, I mean, you can write your name on the wall and, you know, leave notes to them and, you know, encouragements and stuff. You get to see kind of where they came up back in their old days. It was really great. And then we went to their trainee restaurant, which was decked head to toe in BTS everywhere you looked. You could not look at a single thing in this place and not just like see BTS. And of course, because I was there, I had to have a cloud beer for the boys because we support things they support. Anyways, the woman who ran the shop, the high money who ran the shop, she was so sweet. She was taking pictures with people. She was so kind. I used the bathroom there and I thought to myself, I am peeing somewhere Suga could have peed. Life is great. It was great. We had KBBQs, again, delicious. The food was great. She also put an apron on me. Like, I was wearing this white top with a jacket and I didn't realize what was happening, but all of a sudden I feel someone putting an apron on my body. And I think it was because, like, obviously with the KBBQ you could splatter and get the white, but I just was not used to someone just giving me that level of service, just physically putting something on my body to protect me. We also went to this really nice cafe that was also BTS themed. It had interesting art and really yummy treats and coffees and things to eat. We took a lot of pictures and we also left a post-it note that you can leave on this big wall of notes and drawings and doodles for BTS. And we left a post-it note and a Polaroid. Because we were already in Gangnam, we went to the Star Road, which was really cool. So we took pictures with the bears. They have these bears for each of the a lot of K-pop groups. It's also near SM, so we saw SM, which was cool. We also saw Star Road, which was amazing. You got to see all the little K-pop group bears and a lot of luxury shops. On day 4, I had a Michelin star meal that I will be talking about in another video. I will do a full food review. I took videos and pictures of the full experience and I'll let you guys know if it was worth it to have a Michelin star meal in Korea and what it was like. So that was our BTS kind of day. Day 5 is what I call my art ho day. We had a great breakfast at this place near the Lehman. I cannot remember what the name is. If I find it, I will put it here, but the food was super delicious. It was American style or Australian style, I think, and it was just super tasty, super cheap, super tasty. It was near the Lehman. We did our best. It was like a 10 out of 10. We did our best to try and get into the Lehman, but we didn't end up getting in because, like, you had to buy tickets and we didn't really realize the whole process because it was kind of different. But we did take pictures at the outside exhibits near the Lehman. So there's this, like, whole flower situation. There's, like, beautiful sculptures outside. But we did have some nice, like, cute fake photo card moments, I would say. We also then went to the Hybe building. And that was super fun, and we got to see Hybe Insight that was not open, obviously. But we took pictures by the Hybe building.
하이브 카메라거든요. 인사 한 번만. Hi.
And then if you go behind Hybe, there's like a bunch of cafes that have, like, you know, that are dedicated to, like, a lot of them are dedicated to artists. And we went to the BTS one that was called the Black Hole or something. And man, that place was, again, another place decked head to toe, stuff so crammed with BTS stuff. There was like little Yoongi Marry Me's. There was literally everything everywhere all at once. We had so much fun just sitting there drinking coffees, talking, chilling, game planning for the rest of the day. the BTS cafe was straight out of a fever dream, if I'm being honest. But after that, we were like, we're gonna go to the MoMA to see the museum, because again, the Lehman was a fail, but the MoMA would be a success. We knew it. So we went to the MoMA. On our way, we got fish cakes again, street fish cakes, which was another one of my bucket lists. I always wanted to get like fish cakes off the street. And so we went to the MoMA. We saw a bunch of art stuff, which was really cool. Art isn't necessarily my biggest jam, but I do like love and appreciate going with people who love and appreciate it. I think it's really fun to see people who love art like explain it to you and kind of break it down to you. We stopped and got salt bread. We went back to Myeongdong where I was, and there actually is a Michelin star noodle shop there, and so we stopped and ate there for dinner. It was great. The noodles were amazing. I had dumpling noodles, so it was delicious. Other people just had dumplings. They're Michelin star. They're really fast. It's not a place where you sit and talk and chat like a lot of like cafes and stuff in Korea, but it's like the food is delicious. You eat it, you go home. Next up, we had day 6, which I like to call D-Day, in honor of our boy Suga. D-Day, okay, planning for this trip, our friends who are currently living there, who we went to go visit, asked us a lot of like, what do you want to do? What is something that is a dead ass on your list? And I, of course, was like,
I have to go meet mother-in-law.
possibly one of 2 ways.
My hometown name is Daegu. So
DT Sugar.
Daegu Town Sugar.
I'm 17 leader scoops from Daegu. 완전 아무도 안 해.
아니 뭘 더 말할 줄 알았어. 대구.
대구 더 얘기할 줄 알았는데.
대구. From Daegu. Yeah. Daegu.
Both of my alt biases are from Daegu. A lot of my other biases are from Daegu as well.
Previously on Lost.
And then like through the guides, I learned that he was from Daegu, and I was like, I knew it. Daegu is the bane of my existence. Why do they produce such hot men who act like toddlers but are also geniuses? I don't know. But like, if you know anything about me, you know I love Suga, and you know I love S-Scoops.
Hard eyes, motherfucker.
And both of them are from Daegu. And S-Scoops happened to put the name of this particular restaurant that he likes to go to in Daegu. And I was like, I have to go there. Of course, if S-Scoops says it's worth going to, and I love KBBQ, I might as well go there, duh. But you can't just go to Daegu from Seoul for KBBQ. So we had a whole day planned out. We got Dunkin' Donuts, which is also super awesome because I like getting chain stuff at foreign countries. I've always loved doing that because it's always so different. So we had Dunkin' Donuts. That was great. We got on the KTX. We were riding for about an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours, and we got into Daegu. And it was amazing. We took the bus into the market. But literally when we got off the bus, like, not the KTX, but the bus, we got out from the subway, from like the bus, and we're walking past, and a man just screams, BTS! Right at us, like directly at us, from his storefront, just screams at us, and we're like, yeah. Like, what else are you supposed to do? You're supposed to deny it at that point?
Are you kidding me?
So after that, we were walking towards the market, which was one of my big things. I always wanted to go to markets. I always want to go to markets. That's just kind of my thing. I love it. I love seeing markets. I love haggling. It reminds me of my time when I was working in Nigeria a lot, and I love it. But as we were going there, I've never been called pretty so many times in my life. There is at one point where this sweet old Haimani, bless her heart, walks up behind me, and she's like enamored with my face, and she's like, "Ipuda, Ipuda, Ipuda," and then she just grabs the back of my head and starts fluffing up my hair like it's a kind of a puppy that she's like grooming. I don't know what to say. It was so funny. I usually take high offense when people touch my hair, but I was kind of prepared for that in this trip. I was prepared for like, people may touch your hair. It's fine. Don't, this kind of hair I had, so I was like, it's fine, it's fine. keep going, keep moving. So I was like, thank you, 감사합니다, 감사합니다. And I was just walking away, and then just old Haimanis, like ajumas everywhere were just like, 이쁘다, 이쁘다 to me and my friends, because we were all, none of us were Asian or Korean. So it's like, I think like when you're in Daegu, it's so much different than when you're in Seoul. In Seoul, they like, if they see you, it's not like a surprise, but it's like, why are you in Daegu? Like, if people go to like Busan and Jeju, like they don't go to Daegu. So it was kind of like why are you here? And also Daegu is like fully either like toddlers that are at school or like old people. Like there's not like a super lot of people who are like our age and out on a weekday, like in Seoul. But in Daegu it was just like old Haimanis, just like 이쁘다, just like so sweet and cute. It was so cute. So with that, we went to Somun Market, and window shop. I had cash, so I was like buying all the snackies. We had kimbap, we had everything, we had lemonade, corn dogs. It was so good and delicious. Eventually after that, we made our way to I can't say this word, I've been trying to say it this entire trip and for all this time, arboretum. It's basically a big fancy garden. There's a tree wildlife preservation, not wildlife, but like tree garden area in Daegu that is so beautiful. The flowers were like a little bit past bloom, so like some of them were dying, but like for the most part they were beautiful. They had greenhouses filled to the brim with beautiful exotic flowers. We took a bunch of pictures. It was so beautiful, breathtaking, stunning. Again, it was a lot of walking to the point where my phone, like my Apple Watch, was like, hey, it looks like you're on a hike as a workout. Should I start this workout? And I was like, no, I'm not. I'm just looking at flowers, ma'am. Stop attacking me. But it was so good. It was so great. On the way there, we stopped at a convenience store, did a bunch of convenience store hacks. You know, the coffee and the banana milk, you know, those kind of vibes. It was really nice to, like, you know, we also took some very cute pictures. I will post here. It was great. After that and the arboretum, we finally went to the restaurant that we were talking about, the SQ Daegu restaurant. It was full to the brim of SQ's face everywhere. And if you know me, you know that's what I love. That's my jam. Seeing SQ's face in as many places as possible. And that was this. And it was very clear that it was like split down the middle, where it was like half of the restaurant was very much S-Coops 17 right here energy, and then the other half was just like, this is a Korean barbecue place where you just chill, eat, and drink. And we were on the side, of course, the S-Coops. I was sitting by his face by the wall. I took pictures by it. You can leave like notes and like photo cards and like stuff like that. So I took a Polaroid by the wall of me, you know, cheersing him a shot by the wall, and I put my Instagram handle. So if he hits me up, it worked.
He's shooting his shot to where? Like what does he think I'm gonna put into work?
If not, I look desperate, but I don't care. It was just great. The food was actually really good. Like, I was prepared for the food not to be that great, but it was actually really good. It was really good, affordable Korean barbecue. We had pork belly. Again, your girl loves a soybean paste too. Like I said before, we had namyeong. Like, again, love a cold noodle, and it was very much for me meal. I'm not gonna lie, but it was delicious. Like, I can't fault one thing. It was just a delicious hearty meal. And then we asked for a recommendation for dessert. He recommended us to this like cute little pastry place that was like on the way to the back to the KTX. We had pastries there. We went back on the KTX, took another 2-hour ride, went home, went to bed. That was the end of D-Day. I had a lot of fun. Kind of wish I did more sugar things, but it was mostly for S-Coops, and that's okay because I love my boy, so it was fine.
이런 날 참 무서워 뻔히 전에 기다린다.
Day 7, which was gloomy/rainy for a reason. So at that time, and I'm gonna talk about this very briefly because obviously I can't not mention this when I'm mentioning this trip. At that time, we had all gone to bed. I was still suffering a little bit from jet lag, so I would wake up around like 4 or 5 sometimes. When I woke up around like 4 or 5 or 6, I believe, I found out the news that Moonbin had passed away. I am, for a lot of people don't know, because again, I talk mostly about BTS on this channel. Sometimes I'll talk about Astro, but like mostly on one-off videos, but for the most part I talk about BTS or maybe 17. I was an Aurora. I am Aurora, so that was pretty hard to hear at that time. It was very sad. I was crying in my hotel room, obviously for him, for his family, for everyone around him. So it was a very gloomy day. And we had to make the decision where it was like, would we stay inside and be sad and mourn, or would we, we only have a certain amount of days here, what would we do? So we kind of just, were like, okay, we'll keep going, we'll keep pushing, is what the decision was made. So we ended up all wearing all black, which was ironic. I think most of the people we saw that day anyways were wearing all black, which obviously everyone's in mourning. So of course it was actually the rainy and gloomiest day of the entire trip, which absolutely makes sense. And so that's kind of where the day started. Wasn't a great place, but we had to keep pushing forward. And to his family, I wish the best. To his fans, I wish the best. For anyone who doesn't know who Moonbin was, just the most talented person in the room ever, always. So with that being said, we ended up at the Galleria and had coffee. We went to the Galleria to go to the library, that big famous fancy library, and we went there, and we saw a K-Music store, which this was I didn't mention this on the other days, but we had been consistently on the hunt for me to find a 17 light stick. Because like if you try and buy one online, a lot of them mostly are sold out. So I couldn't find one anywhere. We went to this giant K-pop store where we ended up taking Polaroids, and I thought I could find one, but we didn't. We couldn't find it. So after that, we went to my first Blue Bottle experience, which is a famous coffee chain apparently. This one happened to be like near, I guess, where RM and Jimin's apartment was. From there, we kind of broke off into 2 separate groups. Olivia and Sarah went biking by the Han River, and me and Jess went to the mall in Hongdae, and we like just kind of browsed all the designer stuffs, because a lot of stuff in Korea is just super designer in the mall. And then we ended up having a chimek experience, having chicken and beer for dinner, and then we all went home.
But she's fragile like a bomb. Yeah, you set her off.
Day 8 was very, very, very short. Is the day that D-Day dropped. They went to Busan, had a blast. I wasn't prepared to walk that much. I had hurt my ankle, and I also had a tattoo appointment, which is when I got my tattoo. I listened to Suga's August D's album all day as I got tattooed for most of the day, and then I went home and I had dinner there. The food there was pretty American, which was not as good as I wanted to. I ended up going to the convenience store for like, triangle squares and like stuff as well, because it was super American and I didn't really want that. And then I went back to my room. My hotel, you could see like the skyline, so you could see like Namsung Tower, you could see like a lot of stuff, so it was like nice to eat food and have that pretty view. But I just mostly ate and then went to bed because I was just exhausted from the tattoo. That was day 8, Tatted. Day 9, I'm a pretty princess. I call it that because we had to wake up mad early because hanboks go out real quick in that area. Basically, we went to Hanbok Girls, which I highly recommend if you were looking for a hanbok rental in Korea. I highly recommend Hanbok Girls. I will tag them down below. Their Instagram, they were so kind and accommodating, especially for me, who is like an obviously plus size woman. You know, they were super kind and accommodating and finding me a hanbok that would fit, and you know, that making sure like everything. A lot of the time when you're doing a hanbok, they're doing your hair as well. I fear they didn't know what to do with my faux locks, so I had already, you know, done the accoutrement when I did my makeup that morning. I had set up my hair for the best chance, and you know, did pretty pins and butterflies and stuff to match it, and it went pretty well. So they didn't really need to do my hair, but I got my hanbok, and it was really good. We went to not the main palace, but there's a second palace that's a smaller palace. We went there, and we went to the secret garden. We took a lot of Polaroids and pictures. We had more coffee in our hanboks.
I'm lion, I'm queen. 아무도 그래도 날 가둘 수 없어. 아픔도.
And then we returned our hanboks and had lunch and coffee, and because I had ramen. I had like a cheese ramen, and it just ran through me. But we did like see a couple art installations. We saw some flowers. Namjoon would be proud, of course, because you know, we saw nature and art. What else did he want from us for this trip? And then we went to the bookstore again. Namjoon would be proud that he went to. I think him and IU have both been there. It's like it's not a bookstore actually. It's a cafe that used to be a bookstore, but his wife turned it into a cafe. It was frequented by them, so we went there, took pictures, had a coffee. It was great. Then we went home, slept our gas off, and went back out for the night to Itaewon, because we had vowed to go back to that bar. If you remember earlier, I had vowed to go back to Waikiki, which was the name of the bar. We went to Waikiki and danced the night away, and it was literally so much fun and so amazing.
And I may have forgot my purse at home. I can spend a bag on a black, cruising in a lemon or lag.
Day 10. Also, when we were at Waikiki, there was a hot blind guy, and if you're him and you remember a cute black girl with faux locks and you're like,
Oh my gosh, I was looking for you. Will you marry me?
call me. Anyways, we went on to day 10, and it was a shop till you drop day. We were buying all of our tchotchkes and accoutrements, and what are those things where you get presents that you give to people when you travel? I can't think of the word, but I know there is a word for it. Circus. Oh, I'm dumb. Anyways, we met at a study cafe, had breakfast, then we had lots of tasty street foods at this kind of open door food court. I had a beer, other people had milk, other people had cider, and I had a beer. So that was telling you where my day was going. We went souvenir shopping in Hongdae, in Myeongdong. We saw a lot of vintage clothes and vintage clothing shops. We window shopped that. And it was really fun. It was really cool. We also went to this big department store near Myeongdong and near the market, and there was the hottest barista I've ever seen in my life, and I kept calling him Batista.
Babe, what about the Batista? Is the Batista real? Okay, I think you mean barista.
Batista, are you even real?
And he was just really dancing and enjoying his life. And so again, if you are the barista who was singing Golden Hour on that day, at the department store that has not wine friends but the cacao friends in it, then I'm talking to you. Regardless, we ended up at a red tent, pocha, and we had, you know, some like dinner, snacks, again, soju, having it up. And that was kind of our last day. We wanted to end it like the leads in a sad K-drama where we just got our hearts broken. And that was super fun. Let's go out with a bang. And then day 11, we went to my favorite cafe that we had gone to this entire thing, called the Brown Rabbit. I had a like hot dog that was eggs and potato. It was so great. I didn't even know the combination existed, but it was so delicious. We had coffee, we had lunch at Haimoni's, and it was again delicious. The food was so good and so cheap. And then we finished off at a selfie booth. A little note, I had an extra day in Korea because I missed my flight. I bought too many snackies and I had to buy a second suitcase, and nothing opens until 10:30 in Korea, and there was just a bunch of trouble. There was some idol had come and landed. I ended up at arrival. It was a lot of things that went wrong. I ended up crying a little bit, but I eventually the next day caught my flight and got the hell out of Dodge. While on that last day, that very last day, I did finally eat egg drop because I did want to have egg drop in Korea. I've had it before other places. Wanted to have it in Korea because I know that's where it originated from. I had all my snackies stuffed into my suitcase, and I had like a full Korean spread meal, again with this soybean soup that I love so much, and a bottle of soju right before I got on my flight. And then I headed back to Newark, New Jersey. Okay? And that was it. My tips / dislikes. This is this section. This is not like a dislike actually. It's more so tips so that you are prepared, that I wasn't prepared for. Nothing really opens before 10:30 a.m. Cafes are everywhere and so different, and do not hesitate to go to multiple in a day. It's just so fun. Like, the amount of vanilla lattes I had in Korea is astounding, and only probably surpassed by the amount of beer I had. Take the subway whenever you can. I guarantee it. It's great, but it doesn't run after 12 a.m. so then you will have to get a Kakao taxi. Get the Kakao taxi app. I think it is well worth it, and it really does help you. Koreans love to stare, and this is like, I've realized that they stare at each other as well. Like, it's not just because we're foreign, but they will stare a lot. They will stare often at each other, but also at you. So just be prepared to be stared at, like, and be prepared to stare at other people. Like, I just started staring back by the end of it, but they do like to stare, especially if you're foreigner. But like, even if you're not foreigner, I feel like they stare quite a bit as well. If you learn Korean phrases, always learn the formal version, because if you're just walking up to someone who's way older than you and saying something in the informal, you look crazy. It just makes you look even more ignorant than you should originally look. Not that you should look ignorant, but anyways, always learn the formal version. Always have cash for the markets. Markets are the best place to shop also, because if you're going to the mall, it's just all designer stuff, all stuff that's like not like, you know, affordable, normal stuff. But the markets are where it's actually at. It's where I bought my extra suitcase. It's where I bought a lot of the souvenirs. That's what it's called, souvenirs. So you'll need cash for the markets, but you'll also need cash to fill up your T-Money card, which is what you use for the subway, but you can also use it to buy stuff at convenience stores. But like, if you use it, then you're gonna have to fill it up, and you can only fill it up with cash. Again, malls are for designer stuff, markets are for the cool regular stuff. I searched all over Seoul and I could not find one carrot bomb, and I don't think it's me. But clubs, especially in Hongdae, will turn you down if you are too old. That is something that I learned the hard way, the weird way. If you're too old, they'll turn you down, obviously, because they want a certain vibe, I guess. Especially in Hongdae, they want like the young and rich, like the young and broke, like the young and horny kind of vibe. And that's like, if you're too old, you're not fulfilling that vibe.
홍대는 약간 저 이번에 처음 20살 됐는데
맞아, 20살
술 공짜로 주는 거 맞아요? 약간 이런 느낌.
맞아. 어린 친구들만.
그리고 이제 거기 이제 그 주위를 래퍼들이 감싸고 있지. 래퍼들이 막 나 쇼미더머니 나왔어 이러면 감싸고 있는 느낌.
So they will turn you down. In Itaewon, it's like less likely. Like, I didn't get turned down anywhere in Itaewon. It's less likely, but yeah, just let you know that that's a thing, especially in Hongdae and I probably Gangnam. My favorite things. Go visit Daegu. I've never been called pretty so much in my life. Everyone is the right amount of friendly. It was chill, homey, with lots, there's a lot of touristy stuff to do in Busan and in Jeju, but Daegu is a special gem all of its own. I really love it. If I were to like move and have a family and I had to pick a place to live that wasn't Seoul, obviously, I would pick Daegu. I would 100% pick Daegu. Don't be afraid to Google. My 2 favorite cafes, Check In Grow and Brown Rabbit, were found via Google. Don't be afraid to Google for stuff. It's not embarrassing. Don't be afraid to haggle, but most Americans aren't used to haggling when they shop, especially in markets. Don't haggle for food, but like haggle for like souvenirs and clothing and stuff. You can haggle at that part, but like don't be an asshole when you haggle. Be like reasonable. And stand your ground if they try and go up or down. If they try and go up. Finding your hanbok is a true princess experience. I highly recommend hanbok girls. They have plus sizes and are nice and super friendly. If you want a fun club bar, like just dance with your friends night, go to Waikiki in Itaewon. I highly recommend it. The music was good for the most part. There's not any K-pop really, but there's lots of early 2000s throwbacks, and that was like super fun. I also forgot to mention the architecture is one of my favorite things.
Romeo and Juliet, it seemed like fate when we first met. Those happy days just drift away with nothing left but night and day. Wish memories could fade, 'cause why do you even say?
For a place that has so many hills to climb, the buildings are stunning. The things that I missed that I wish I had seen and did, I wish I had gone to Jeju, because I am a big seafood girly and I know that they have great seafood. So I'm a big fan of Sukwon from 17, so I missed that out. Busan, even though I hate hiking, I do love the Busan accent and I would have loved to go there. Lotte World, I love amusement parks. I didn't get to go see the Pledis building, which I'm not too mad about, but I was sad. A picnic at the Han River. I had drinks, but I didn't have a picnic. There's a Makgeolli brewery in Daegu that I didn't get to go to that I really wanted to go to. And the Dongmyeon flea market, we did go there on one of the days. I didn't mention it, but we only went there for 20 minutes and it was already like closing. So I want to go there and actually have a full fun shopping experience. With that being said, my trip to Korea was unforgettable, beautiful, stunning. I can't wait to do it again. Maybe I'll go back for my 30th birthday. I feel like S-Coops will be out of the military by then. I don't know. I'm thinking too much into it. But I highly recommend it for anyone who wants to go. I think you should immerse yourself. Don't be afraid and learn the language, as many languages as you possibly can. I think it's very helpful and a little bit nicer when you're actually like saying thank you in their language. You're coming to someone else's country. Don't be an asshole is what I'm trying to say. With that being said, I'm Yummy.com. Don't worry, I'll be back, so stay tuned, my internet friends. See you soon.